She doesn't owe me anything. I don't owe, neither of us owe anybody anything except, like, respect.
Hailey Bieber just slammed Selena Gomez with the wildest allegations. What did Hailey say in the statement? Did she have a talk with Selena after getting together with Bieber? Was the supermodel planning something, considering how Selena has a documentary coming out in the start of November? First of all, let's talk about how Hailey Baldwin was getting hate as soon as she was publicly seen with Justin after his breakup with longtime sweetheart Selena Gomez. According to the public, it was a little questionable that Justin and Hailey went public so quickly after Justin's extremely recent breakup. And it's not even like his previous relationship was only a few months long. Everyone knows that Justin and Selena had been dating, breaking up, seeing other people, and then dating again since 2011. And the way Justin got together with Hailey, like he had known her for quite some time, and then literally married her after barely a few months, rose a lot of questions. And since no one bothered to entertain these questions, the backlash was directed towards the new couple, Justin and Hailey. Everyone assumed that Justin had cheated on Selena and had started his relationship with Hailey before he even broke up with Selena. And where there was a lot of evidence supporting the narrative that Bieber had done Gomez dirty, no one could come up with any credible evidence that Justin had responsibly broken up with Selena and had started a relationship with Hailey. Selena never publicly talked about this matter, and it seems like she has moved on. But can the same be said about Hailey? The supermodel brought this matter up in the podcast as well, and talked about how she got backlash from fans just because Justin started dating her right after he broke up with his longtime girlfriend. The model didn't sugarcoat anything, and mentioned how it does look a little questionable that he got with her so quickly. Did they get married too soon?
Your husband was in a very public relationship. People were obsessed with them being together. Mm-hmm. Were you ever with Justin romantically at the same time as her?
This is so crazy. I've literally never talked about this ever. A lot of the hate and the perpetuation comes from like, oh, you stole him. It's about people knowing the truth. Because there's a truth.
And needless to say, because of all that, the social media of Mrs. Bieber was full of comments that were not exactly supportive. In fact, the majority of them criticized her for stuff like stealing Selena's man, calling her a homewrecker, and relating her actions with Selena Gomez a lot of the time. It got so out of hand that the man of the house, Justin himself, had to step in. The baby pop star took to Instagram and replied to the hateful comments of an account that was seemingly dedicated to hating on Hailey and was hell-bent on proving that the couple is fake and is together only for the sake of PR. And for those who don't know, PR couples are a big reality of Hollywood life. Basically, when artists have projects coming out and they need the public's attention, press conferences and promotions aren't always the key to success. A lot of the time, the artists catch the public's eye by using their private life as bait. For example, co-actors often start dating right before the release of a movie, but then end up splitting as soon as it is out and the progress is noted. For example, a lot of people think that the Twilight couple, Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart, were a PR couple. And if we look at it, Justin's image among the general public, excluding his fans, wasn't that good because of his attitude problems and unprofessional behavior. And honestly speaking, Hailey's modeling career wasn't really that successful either. So as soon as they started dating, everyone's first assumption was that they are a PR couple. But a lot of people were shocked when they found out that the couple was actually serious about their relationship and was ready to say their vows. Throughout the podcast, Hailey talked about the hate she kept getting for just being Justin's partner. The model mentioned that she understands why everyone isn't that supportive of their relationship. She talked about how Justin has been such a huge star for so long that no matter who he ends up with, no one will fit the standards set by his fans. It is impractical to think that Justin would be in a relationship with someone and their fans would approve of it.
The hate and the perpetuation comes from like, oh, you stole him. And I guess maybe that just comes from like the fact that they wished that like he had ended up with someone else, but that's just not the case.
Then Alex, the host of the podcast, Call Her Daddy, asked Hailey whether she was in contact with Justin when he was dating Selena or not. Because again, this question has been left unanswered for years, and needless to say, a lot of hate has been targeted towards Hailey. So when a lot of other things were being openly discussed in the podcast, how was it possible that such an important question would be left out like that? And that particular question was also featured in the highlights of the podcast's trailer, and was probably the reason why it went viral. Only a few seconds were enough for Hailey, Justin, and Selena to be trending on Twitter again. And it wasn't limited to social media only. Several articles, TikToks, YouTube videos, and headlines also mentioned the trio. So basically, when Hailey tried to do this podcast to stop the hate, clarify the narrative, and try to change the mind of the general public, she did the exact opposite. Thousands of tweets were posted, calling her obsessed with Selena, and how it was a little too planned and strategic of her to do this podcast right when Selena's documentary was about to come out. A lot of people thought this was a trick to shift the public's attention from Selena's upcoming documentary, as it talks about every single struggle that she has been through in the past few years. From her health issues to rehab, from releasing new music to working for charity, donations to credible sources, and starting one of the biggest and most trending beauty brands in the industry at the moment, a lot has happened in Gomez's life, and it seems that the singer has moved on from the relationship. Not once did she mention Justin or Hailey, and has been busy in her life. Mrs. Bieber, however, has taken out some time to specifically talk about Selena and Justin's relationship in a 40-minute long podcast, and the most interesting part is that she never took Selena's name in the whole thing. Why was that? Did she think no one would know who she was talking about? Discussing her for 40 minutes is okay, but taking her name is where she draws the line. Interesting. Anyways, back to the most anticipated question in the podcast. When Alex asked Hailey whether she was with the Stay singer while he was dating Selena, her reaction was quite something. The model took a few moments to prepare herself, and then mentioned how it was the first time she was going to talk about this. She replied that Justin had broken up with Selena by the time he started going out with her, and if he was still with her, it would have been against her morals and ethics to be with a man who was still committed to another woman.
When him and I ever started like hooking up, he was not ever in a relationship. It's not my character to mess with someone's relationship. I would just never do that.
The model also talked about how Justin did a good thing by closing the door on his relationship with Selena, as it was the best decision for everyone. Then she talked about how everyone thought that their marriage was a little too rushed and they were too young. It does make sense, to be honest. Justin was 24 years old and Hailey was 21 when the couple tied the knot. And since it's Hollywood, a lot of people weren't expecting the marriage to work out. But Hailey proudly talked about how they recently celebrated the 4th anniversary of the wedding that everyone thought would fail. While talking about the unnecessary backlash she got, Hailey pointed out the infamous Met Gala incident, where she was posing for the cameras with her husband, and the people in the back kept yelling at her and were yelling Selena's name again and again. Undoubtedly, this experience was traumatizing and heartbreaking for her, and the model talked about how she felt numb to all those sounds and became almost robotic. She also discussed that no matter what she did, she was being criticized by the public. So, as a way to change the public's narrative of her, she started a YouTube channel. According to Mrs. Bieber, this fun little activity turned out to be extremely helpful for her, and it gave her an opportunity to show other people how she was in her everyday life. Then the host, Alex, asked whether she was in contact with Selena or not, to which Hailey replied that she did have a conversation with the singer, but it was shortly after she got married to Bieber, and it has been quite some time since that.
Have you guys ever spoken?
Yes.
And then like recently, no, I don't guess not recently, but like after your marriage.
Yes.
At the end of the podcast, Alex asked her if she had any message for the Selena Gomez fans, to which she had a rather brief response.
The first thing I would say is you're not obligated to like me, but I believe that no matter what, there can always be mutual respect between people. And to me, that means just that you don't have to say anything. You don't have to like me, but you don't have to say anything either. Because behind this person that you're looking at on a screen is a person with a brain and a heart and emotions and issues that I face, and so do you, and so does Alex, and so does every single person in this room. So you just, I think just mutual like respect and decency, and know that what you say can have impact, and know that I guess that's what I would say.
Click on one of the 2 videos on screen right now.